this time I'm going to show you basically a whole segment, a Fox News segment of their interview with Mike Lee on why he voted to limit the ability for Trump to wage war, which was basically the War Powers Act, which basically the leaders of the War Powers Act was Bernie Sanders and Ro Khanna. Ro Khanna in the House, Bernie Sanders in the Senate. So this, let me give you a little jog of your memory. So the reason why the War Powers Act was introduced in the first place is when the United States President Trump, basically launched an airstrike on Baghdad's biggest airport that killed General Qasem Soleimani without the approval of Congress to do it. And so it sparked a whole debate and also sparked a mass discussion where people were afraid that we were about to go to World War III. And let's see this clip. Now let's get to the clip.
Create a custom branded email template in seconds with Constant Contact's Template Builder.
Fox News alert: the Senate just voting to limit President Trump's authority to use military action against Iran. It passed with some support from Republicans. The House could take it up later this month, but either way that vote goes, President Trump is expected to veto it. And it's important to note that if he does, Congress does not have the supermajority to override a veto on this one. Let's bring in Senator Mike Lee, who just voted in favor of the War Powers Resolution, and give you a chance to explain why.
I voted for this today because this is consistent with a pattern that I've established ever since I've been in the Senate over the last 9 years. I did this under President Obama, and I'll continue to do this under every president who serves in office while I'm in the Senate. So we, as a Congress, need to reclaim the power to declare war. Over the course of many decades, we've seen Congress essentially forfeiting its authority to declare war and waiting for presidents to act. We believe that it's more appropriate whenever we're going to put U.S. lives on the line. We think that Congress needs to authorize that in the form of a declaration of war. This is a precedent that stretches all the way back to George Washington, when Americans were attacked by the Miami and Wabash Indians, and President Washington identified the difference between a defensive response and an offensive attack. If the latter requires congressional authorization, that's all we're requiring here.
This won't surprise you that the president disagrees. And this is a tweet from him earlier today saying that it is very important for our country's security that the U.S. Senate does not vote for the Iran War Powers Resolution. We are doing very well with Iran, and this is not the time to show weakness. Americans overwhelmingly support our attack on terrorist Soleimani. If my hands are tied, Iran would have a field day, sends a very bad signal. The Democrats are only doing this as an attempt to embarrass the Republican Party. Don't let it happen. And yet there were 8 Republicans that voted to support this War Powers Resolution. And I wonder if you are persuaded at all by his argument that it shows weakness if the president then has to go to Congress and say, can we do something because we really want to protect the country. I see where you're coming from, but he's also saying I'm the chief executive and I have to be able to have this flexibility.
Yeah, I understand that, and I respect his use of his executive power and his power under Article 2 of the Constitution as Commander-in-Chief. In fact, he's wielded that power far more responsibly than any other president in my lifetime. I'm grateful for that. Now, I would completely agree with him if this in any way, shape, or form eroded his inherent authority as Commander-in-Chief under Article 2. It doesn't. All this one is saying is that if we're going to undertake an offensive action, not in response to an attack, in order to repel an actual or imminent attack, but an offensive action, that would require congressional authorization.
So would you put the Soleimani attack in a offensive or a defensive category?
It was defensive. It was in response to an attack that had just occurred on U.S. facilities in Iraq. And it was also in anticipation of other attacks that had been planned that were going to be carried out in the days following the Soleimani attack.
So
I defended that at the time, and I defend it wholeheartedly.
So the purpose of this resolution then would be what?
Prospectively, it's for what comes next. What do we do next? It's one thing to respond at the time that happens, as President Trump did when he killed General Soleimani. We're all better off for it, and I praise his action, and I still praise that today. But moving forward, we need to know what we're going to do, whether we're going to take offensive measures against Iran. All this resolution today said, which I was pleased to co-sponsor and vote for, is that if we're going to go to war with Iran, if we're going to undertake offensive action against Iran, that needs to be declared by Congress, because that's what the Constitution requires.
It's a fascinating issue overall in terms of the Congress over the decades giving away some of its power to the executive, and I'd love to have you back to talk about that more in full at some point. Senator Lee, thank you.
So, Mike Lee got 75% of this right, but when it came, what I support him for is when he voted for the War Powers Resolution, because you need congressional authority to basically wage an attack or wage a war, but he did not use congressional authority to basically send an airstrike. And one thing, Mike Lee, for some of it, this is like a fact, where basically he is acting like a little bit of a hypocrite, because last time, let me show you here, last time, he did not believe the whole, there was going to be an imminent attack on us when it came to Soleimani thing. The whole here it is. This is him.
We were talking about Iran. I want to state at the outset, I support President Trump. I support and respect the manner in which he has approached his commander-in-chief powers. I believe that more than any other president in my lifetime, President Trump has shown a lot of restraint. He's been reluctant to get us involved in wars all over the globe. He's been very mindful and respectful of the fact that when the American people are asked to give up blood and treasure, they're sending off their sons and their daughters, their moms and their dads into battlefield. And he's therefore very careful about it. I respect that enormously. My comments at the moment are not directed toward the attack that occurred on Friday. We'll leave that to another day. I will say that we were brought into this briefing today to talk to us about that attack on Friday. I had hoped and expected to receive more information outlining the legal, factual, and moral justification for the attack. I was left somewhat unsatisfied on that front. The briefing lasted only 75 minutes, whereupon our briefers left. This, however, is not the biggest problem I have with the briefing, which I would add was probably the worst briefing I've seen, at least on a military issue, in the 9 years I've served in the United States Senate. What I found so distressing about that briefing was that one of the messages we received from the briefers was, do not debate, do not discuss the issue of the appropriateness of further military intervention against Iran. And that if you do, you'll be emboldening Iran. The implication being that we would somehow be making America less safe by having a debate or a discussion about the appropriateness of further military involvement against the government of Iran. Now, I find this insulting and demeaning, not personally, but to the office that each of the 100 senators in this building happens to hold. I find it insulting and I find it demeaning to the Constitution of the United States, to which we've all sworn an oath. It is, after all, the prerogative of the legislative branch to declare war. Article 1, Section 8 makes that very clear. Alexander Hamilton in Federalist Number 69 made clear that this was a sharp contrast from the form of government that we had prior to the Revolution, a form of government in which the executive, the king, had the power to take us to war. He did not need the Parliament to weigh in on it, to support it. That was the Parliament's job after the fact, after we had gone into war. This, Hamilton explained in Federalist 69, is exactly the reason why this power was put in Article 1, Section 8, in the branch of government most accountable to the people at the most regular intervals. When we send our brave soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines into harm's way, we owe the American people the decent courtesy to follow the Constitution, to debate and discuss these actions. For them to tell us that either through a War Powers Act resolution or otherwise, for us to debate and discuss these things on the Senate floor would somehow weaken the American cause and embolden Iran in any other actions, I find very insulting. Now look, I hope that they'll come back and they'll say, no, you misunderstood us. We didn't say that at all. I wish I could believe that. I will note that when those words were uttered, not one of the briefers stood in objection. Not one of the briefers pushed back on that and said, we want to make clear that this is still the constitutional prerogative of Congress. I also want to make clear that I walked into that briefing undecided as to whether to support the resolution under the War Powers Act introduced by Senator Kaine. Now, Senator Kaine and I have had
Oh, it was not introduced by Senator Kaine. It was introduced by Senator Sanders.
He's introduced. He's agreed to make some changes. And I can say that after that briefing is what changed my mind. That briefing is what brought me on board, together with the amendments that Senator Kaine has agreed to make. I'm now going to
It was not made by Senator Kaine.
I walked out decided, specifically because of what happened in that briefing. It is not acceptable for officials within the executive branch of government, I don't care whether they're with the CIA, with the Department of Defense, or otherwise, to come in and tell us that we can't debate and discuss the appropriateness of military intervention against Iran. It's un-American, it's unconstitutional, and it's wrong. And I hope and expect that they will show greater deference to their own limited power in the future, and to the power that belongs to Congress. This is not about us, it's not about any one of us. This is about our fidelity to those we represent. These powers are not ours. They don't belong to any of us. But when we allow them to be exercised through the wrong branches of government, with the wrong process, when you don't have debate and discussion, you don't allow the process itself to correct itself for the American people who will be most affected by these decisions to weigh in. That was insulting. That was demeaning to the process ordained by the Constitution, and I find it completely unacceptable. On that basis, I've decided to support Senator Kaine's resolution.
Not Senator Kaine's, Senator Sanders.
Senator Paul.
So yeah, I basically say he's a little bit of a hypocrite. Cause reason why is cause one, it was insulting. There's also more.
I was so embarrassed about paying too much for a used car.
No, he
I
doesn't.
went into hiding in this
Yeah.
undisclosed location.
So
Only Carfax.com
he,
can
so
give you the most accurate price based
there was
on
actually no
Carfax
attack plan.
Stop the
What
shit.
happened was
Start your
basically
used
a
car search
riot
today
when
at
it came to the embassy,
Carfax.com.
the Iranian embassy.
Shortly after the president's remarks today, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and others headed to Capitol Hill to provide members of the House and the Senate the justification for last week's assassination of the general from Iran. After briefing the House, which we will get to later in the show, they headed to the Senate, where Trump supporters gave the briefing rave reviews.
I thought it was a good briefing.
I just sat through one of the best briefings I've had since I've been here in the United States Congress.
It was very well done. I think they've done an excellent job of outlining the rationale.
But Senator Mike Lee, a Republican from Utah, excoriated the administration, calling the briefing we just saw there insulting and demeaning.
Which I would add was probably the worst briefing I've seen, at least on a military issue, in the 9 years I've served in the United States Senate. It is not acceptable for officials within the executive branch of government, I don't care whether they're with the CIA, with the Department of Defense, or otherwise, to come in and tell us that we can't debate and discuss the appropriateness of military intervention against Iran.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC.
Yeah, so basically, there was no actual imminent attack happening. Cause why? Our embassy, basically they rioted against our embassy cause the Iraqi people did not want us there in the first place. And then this will happen. Then later on, Trump launches a military strike on that airport. What happens? Soleimani was killed, head of a Iraqi militia that was basically, some of it was a part of the government and some of it was funded by Iran. Well, basically, Iran was not planning an attack, so that's where Mike Lee is wrong. That's where I at least criticize him on, where basically the attack, but when it comes to him defending President Trump, yeah, there's like sometimes when it comes to his executive powers, but here's the one thing. He has not been doing very well when it comes to the military. He basically lied about his promises about helping people in the military. Yeah, but that's in our video. But, so, he took the right position to vote for the War Powers Resolution, because the president does not have the authority to start a war without the approval of Congress, and that's the one thing I give him credit for. I'll give credit where credit's due, and that's all. Bye guys. See you next time.